National Liquor Traders Council says it's worried about the rise in deaths from consuming home-brewed alcohol. This comes after the recent lootings and lockdown restrictions on the sale of alcohol. Its convener, Ntimane, says 19 people died recently in the Eastern Cape after consuming illegal brews. He joins us now live. Lucky, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Of course, we know this home brewing happens for a long time in South Africa, but why now? Why so lethal now?
Good evening, Shahan, and good evening to eNCA viewers at home. Appreciate the opportunity. These trends, Shahan, started when we first experienced lockdown back in March 2020, where in the Eastern Cape collectively we have lost 19 souls as a result of the illicit home brewing, which people put different number of things into that. I mean, in the recent story that we have experienced in the Eastern Cape, where 3 souls were lost as a result of this, and we send our condolences to the families. You know, in that concoction, it was even found that they even put shoes inside that brew and a whole lot of other spirits that are not fit for human consumption. 3 of the ladies that had partaken in this and consuming that product have since recovered. You know, but this is a worrying trend, and also this is compounded by the fact that in KZN, a lot of pharmacies were looted. And we shudder to think what will happen to those medicines that were looted, because we know that, you know, KZN, for example, is a hotbed for illicit brewing of alcohol. So for us, it's a big worry that as we continue to experience lockdown as an alcohol industry, you know, the criminal element is taking advantage of our people by selling this illicit home-brewed alcohol.
Yeah. You know, you also say in the statement that you don't really want to use the term home-brewed because it implies it's a small scale. But you reckon that this is on a much bigger, larger scale, which is why more and more people are dying because they're drinking these concoctions.
Certainly, Shahal, because if you look at a home brew as a concept, that is legal. You know, our mothers or grandmothers have been brewing that, you know, to sustain their families, to support their livelihood. So that there's no illegality around that space. It's a legal market. But what we are seeing now, it's at a large manufacturing scale where people use a whole lot of things to make this concoction, which are unfit for human consumption. And in KZN, at some point last year, we had about 15 people dying in one community as a result of this. It's a worrying trend, Shahad, and it's not going to stop unless we are able to, as communities, rise up, stand together, and be able to work together with law enforcement officials to make sure that we bring all these culprits to book. We cannot allow this situation to happen, Shahad. Ours is to really ensure that we work together in communities to make sure that we work together with government. We've got a pandemic to deal with. You know, we cannot afford a situation where our people are dying as a result of consuming this illicit alcohol, which has no space in our society. But also we need to emphasize and understand, Shahad, that the illegal trading of alcohol has grown to 20 billion per annum. So this is a huge market now that thrives on taking advantage of our people who are just looking for alcohol to consume in a safe way. And hence we are calling on government to really consider the issue of, you know, lifting the ban on alcohol. It's unnecessary now. We've now experienced almost 4 weeks of non-trading. Overall, we have experienced almost 170 days of non-trading. This is really hitting our people hard. And coupled with the looting that we have experienced in KZN and Gauteng, which has affected almost 161 retailers and numerous liquor traders in the tavern sector, we feel that it's about time that government level with us and really give us an opportunity to go back to living our lives and supporting our families.
Yeah, and then let's bring the looting into context here, rather, Lucky, because you're also worried that whatever was looted, that this alcohol will now form part of these, concoctions that will ultimately be sold on a much larger scale.
Certainly, Shahad, these are unscrupulous operators who do not care about human lives. And we know that now there is more alcohol now than there would have been if a legal environment of alcohol sale was allowed to take hold. So the ban on alcohol really is not serving any purpose. People have got access to alcohol, albeit on an illegal market. We feel that it's about time the government work together with the alcohol industry so that we can find a common goal of ensuring that we continue to support the economy, but also we continue to support the issue of livelihoods and lives the government is on about, which we fully support as the alcohol industry. But we feel now that being punished and not being allowed to operate when the illegal trading of alcohol is taking hold and is actually taking share from the illegal market, it's unfair. Just in the 4 weeks that we've been on a ban, government has lost almost 5.5 billion out of the taxation that will have gone into the coffers of government, and also has lost 2.2 billion as a result of the excess tax that will have been paid towards that. But retailers have lost 8 billion rand in the process. and taverners as a whole collectively have lost 10 billion. These are huge numbers, but also if you look beyond the numbers, these are livelihoods. These are people that have gone to bed for the past 4 weeks without any food, without any means to support their families whatsoever.
And then, of course, the role of law enforcement when it comes to cracking down on the illicit trade. Is that actually happening? Because I haven't heard of police going and raiding people who are making up these concoctions, who are actually still selling alcohol during this ban.
I think to a certain extent, the police are focusing their energy on the legal market. And that allows the illegal market to thrive and flourish, hence the 20 billion rand per market that has been created as a result. We implore government, we implore law enforcement officials to really target these unscrupulous people that are really killing our people, because what they are selling or what they are serving is not alcohol, but it's a poison, that is meant to masquerade as an alcohol alternative to what we offer as a legal market. We feel that government can do more around this. We feel that law enforcement can do more, but we also implore community to report these people, because they know who they are. These people are not operating under the shadows, but are operating under the glare of the community. We know who they are, but we need to take action as communities. We cannot allow this to happen. But also, on the same breath, we're saying to government, come Sunday when the president makes his announcement, we need to be able to go back to trading. Our people cannot afford any extra day beyond the 26th of July to be closed and not being allowed to operate when the illegal market is taking hold every day, and they're making a killing, at the expense of our people. And we know that these profits are actually supporting the criminal element that continue to thrive in the country.
Yeah, and while I have you then, of course, we're expecting to hear from the president this weekend, because the 2-week period that was extended for this adjusted level 4 will end on Monday next week. Is there any indication that there will be a lifting of this ban on booze sales?
Look, Shahan, when it comes to this president, it's difficult to predict. He still continues to refuse to talk to us. We had been anticipating that at least he want to talk to us so that we can find a common goal and find means and ways to work together to ensure that we continue to let the economy operate, but supporting government's efforts in making sure that we fight the pandemic together. But still, we haven't heard from the president, nor the ministry responsible for the alcohol industry, which is the DTIC under Minister Patel. So we feel that government is still not taking the alcohol industry seriously. But I also need to add that of all the financial support or packages that has been announced, there is none that has been allocated for the alcohol industry. The Minister in the Office of the President, said today that there's going to be meetings with informal traders, with a whole lot of other sectors. Liquor traders continue to be excluded. We feel that we continue to be treated with disdain by this government, and the president is leading that pack. For us, we have to fear COVID-19, we had to fear looting, and now we fear this president who continues to show an uncaring attitude towards the alcohol industry. It's about time that he changes his mind about how he treats us. We feel as if we don't belong to this country, as if we have no right or space to play in this economy. It's about time that he changes his mind and start taking us seriously. We contribute immensely to the economy, but also play a bigger role in being leaders in our communities, leaders in society, as we are able to support those that are not able to do so themselves as an alcohol industry. It's about time that we get taken seriously and we get included in the whole language of taking the country forward.
All right, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. That was National Liquor Traders Council convener Lucky Ntimane.